Hi, Carol here, and a warm welcome to my craft room. Well, today is going to be a fun technique day using this Saturated Canary cutesy wootsy little stamp. I'm going to use this already prepared envelope, black 120-pound cardstock from Michaels, and I love Saturated Canary stamps. They're so vivid, but we're going to be using white color box pigment ink. So with the Saturated Canary, oh yes, our little birdie loves that name, Canary. And we're also going to use the Mini Misty because I'm going to need to probably make it nice and crisp. So I'll be bringing it down. Well, I can't say probably because I know I already did that. I brought it down twice to get a nice image, and I'm taking the black cardstock here, making sure I don't have any marks on it, and then I'm going to take the envelope, any envelope that you have, whatever size you want to use, and I'm going to trim it off exact first of all. So I'll mark it with a pen, and then we'll proceed to cut off it to the exact measurements of this envelope. And these are the envelopes I get from my stationery store when they order things and don't pick it up. I get it for $5 a box. So that's wonderful, isn't it? So let's carry on, and we're going to cut it down to the envelope side. And I want to say I really love this little Fiskars trimmer. I tell you all the time, for a guillotine cutter, this is perfect. I love it. It cuts sharp, and I think it's only around $10 if you use your coupon, and you gotta love that price, and you love the way you can just cut it right off nice and sharp. And I've taken off 1/4 of an inch all the way around the envelope, and this is going to be a mailing card. And I got this idea some time ago on Christina Werner's site with her envelopes that she sends out, decorates, and does brush lettering. So here's the color box pigment ink. You want to make sure you try not to get it off the image, which I did, and I'll show you what happened here. If you don't wipe the edges off, when you're pressing so hard, you're bound to get a little bit of that pigment ink, and don't think you can rub it off because you can't. So I'm just saying it again. I'm going to put the ink down, holding it kind of off the ink pad. I don't want to set it down too much. And there you have it, a nice, crisp, beautiful image. And we're going to use our Prisma pencils, our Gamsol, and it works wonderfully with this technique. And I'm using the Stamp of Approval set. Catherine Pooler over on Stamp Nation, she comes out with the Stamp of Approval kits. One is coming up soon, so please watch. It's just a matter of days. And if you go over to Catherine Pooler's blog, you'll get all the information. This is the beautiful World Stamp of Approval box. And I love the tiny flowers. They have tiny, teeny, small size, butterflies. It's all in there. And I want to use it on here because when you color on top of the white, oh yeah, and we're covering that little bit of a mess there also. But when you color them with really sharp Prisma pencils, you're not going to believe how beautiful it looks over top, kind of like inside the images of the white pigment ink. It's absolutely stunning. If you haven't already gone over to Catherine Pooler's site to check out Stamp Nation, it's a community where all crafters gather together, and my videos are shown there as well. Catherine has a place for me to show my videos, and you get inspiration and cards and techniques, so much for so little a month. And these Stamp of Approval kits are set up beautifully. The photopolymer stamps are top notch. I love them. They clean up and beautifully, and I can't say enough about it. This is a Casual Friday set of flowers that they created, and you'll get, there's dies and stencil and all kinds of goodies in that box. Yes, even my little Boydie's dropping by to check it out. And I'm going to put the white pigment ink over all of the little flowers and the butterflies and everything I situated. Isn't the Misty so nice for this? I really love it. And then after I do this, I'm going to show you the Novice. This is what I clean, not only my Misty, but I clean my stamps with it, and they clean out wonderfully. And if you have a saturated canary stamp, you'll know that they're etched really deep. So you want to use something, I mean, you could run it underwater, but it would take a while because it's a pigment ink. So the Novice, if I get it at my Harley Davidson dealer, and I get it for a good price. So if you're looking for the Novice spray, check out your Harley Davidson stores. They sell them, because my Harley, I cleaned down my chrome, and yep, shines my Harley up beautifully. Now on to the design of the envelope. Because this is going to get mailed out, I wanted to keep my large image obviously to the left, and I'm cleaning more stamps up there if you're wondering. And I also had to put some tape runner to hold this saturated canary stamp down. So I'll just use a little bit of glue remover and take it up, and it'll come up wonderfully. You don't have to worry about that. The Goopy Gone works nicely on the Misty. So now I'm going to move to the color box. I find the color box ink and the Stampin' Up! White pigment ink, I find those two. I think I like this one though. The color box is so white. The Hero Arts ink is white as well, really vivid. And here I'm taking the roll of tape. This is the tape I generally use if I'm going to stamp on to make a masked image. Oh, here comes our birdies. Oh yeah, travel around the page there. They're so tweet, aren't they? Anywho, let's get back to the post-it note. I get it on the roll. I'm showing you my pencil sharpener. It's an automatic pencil sharpener that stops as soon as you hit a point on your pencil. See how beautifully sharp they are? You have to be careful you don't press too hard though, because you have quite a point on there. And I apologize for the situation of my hand throughout this video, and I am having camera issues, which I told you. Today I got the box with my new camcorder in it. I'm going to do a reveal in the morning so that I can use it. But I wanted to keep it as a surprise opening for us to do together. So I am using my camera, which really is, it's been really good to me for 5 years, and I can't complain. It wasn't an expensive camera, and now it has trouble focusing, and you'll notice that in some of the coloring. It's trying to focus in and then it'll focus out, and I really do apologize. But I'm going to walk you through the steps of coloring this image in when you have pigment ink. I took my heat tool and I made sure it was very dry before I started to color. I took 3 shades, a mid-tone, a light tone, and a dark tone pencil. So you have a light, medium, and dark. And then I start with the light, I color it in, and then on the bottom and the tips, I use the dark, and in the center, you'll see that I add some of the mid-tone. And here's the nice 3 colors. You can use any 3 colors, 2 colors, whatever you want to use. And then I took a shade, 2 shades of pink to do these cute flowers. They're just really a beautiful stamp from Casual Fridays. I wanted to put some real cutesy wootsy flowers around this saturated canary image, and I wanted to color and show that you can use with this technique, you can actually get a mid-tone, light tone, dark tone on your images, and the color with Prisma pops on black cardstock, especially this one from Michaels. This is the heaviest wonderful paper I have bought as far as black cardstock. I think it says, excuse me, 110 pound, but it is as thick as my 140-pound cardstock. And when you can get it at Michael's, I use my coupon and I get it. It's $19.99, and then use your 40% and you get a really good deal. So here I'm going around grounding my image with 2 shades of yellow, and I'm trying to get at least 2 to 3 shades of the flowers. Some of them get pretty, pretty small and quite tiny, but I do try to get a lot of color in there. I'm going with the yellow and the turquoise, and I want to leave a lot of the white um, parts of the ink. That's what I put my Prisma pencils in a vase, and I keep them with the leads up so I can see whether I need to sharpen them or not when I grab them. And then I'm going to take 3 different shades of blue and turquoise and baby blue, and I'm going to work my way from dark at the top of her dress to light at the bottom. And I want to keep my lines in the image. I don't want to color over the lines. I want the lines to remain white, which would be very easy if you did go over it, just to put a Prisma pencil white and bring them back. So here you have it. I leave the middle light with 2 shades of light and medium, and then I start working my way up with the dark and medium tone. As you can see, I will add some dots and some lines on the bottom pleats. And with the hair, isn't that pretty? With the hair, you can do hair just like you would do it with your Copics. Dark on the scalp, wherever it folds or turns, put your dark lines. And then the tips, you can have a little bit of dark on the tips of your hair as they move in a curl there, and you get a gorgeous look. Even though you have the lines that are white, really pretty look. And I put some light color on the face tones, but I noticed I had to use my Gamsol to smooth out the face. And then you can't notice it, but I did give her blue eyes, and I did put little black eyelashes top to bottom, so they didn't look like they were bulging out like this. So I did try to fix that up, and it did look really pretty in the end. Here's my Gamsol. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out I just dip it in the sponge. I have it in that little glass container, and I'm taking my stump and I am putting it on the face, the neck, and the arm. Here's where I'm putting the lipstick on the lips. And then we're going to carry on. Yeah, isn't that pretty? It does look nice. Um, it when it's off the camera, it sure is pretty. And then I'm going to use the Sakura medium white pen and the new Jane Davenport pens. Now these are now in Canada, where I am at Michael's. They're under $20. You use your coupon, you get a wonderful deal. For these, you get 2 white, blue, and a creamy soft pink and a bright pink. And look how they stand up. I dotted the dress. I put lines on the dress with these. It has a thick bullet tip, and I'm actually going to do some hand lettering with this thick bullet tip and see how it goes. I haven't tried using a bullet tip to do my brush lettering or calligraphy. I like to use actual brushes, that have the just like the zigs, so that you can get the thickness on your downstroke and you can get a nice light thin line on the upstroke. But I am going to use this thick bullet tip and see how it works with my address on this envelope. So here I'm going to take 3 different colors, actually 4, 3 in the greens, light, medium, dark, and then a yellow to put on the tips of these flowers. It just made it pop. And then at the ends I put my dark green, and right close to the center of that round circle in this little flower, I added the deep dark green, and I pushed down the dark green from the tips, and it Look at how stunning the Prisma pencils just come off the black paper. I just love it. So next with the bullet tip pen, and they call them paint pens, and mostly it's for putting on mixed media on canvases. And if you go over to Jane Davenport's blog, you will see her tutorials, how she uses them on her paintings. And I'm just going to do my dash line with the white. You can you can make it quite thin for being such a thick bullet tip. Um, and I love the fact you get 2 white pens in the package of 5. And I decided to get that fuchsia. It's so red. No, it's like a pink fuchsia. Yes, that's what it is. And I go in between the colors. And I like to use my T-square to keep my paper um, steady and straight to put the line. So it's a nice straight line. I'm going to do that all the way around. And oh, look, my birdie's just, come on, come on, come on over and look with me. No, you're getting too close. Get over there. Love my little birds. So here I'm taking a light line to just show me where at the top and bottom I get to start. And I want to apologize that you cannot see with my hand. The camera was dead on. I don't know what I was thinking, but I kept going and thinking that you could see it from the side for some reason. But I'm writing this, and then I'll come on. This is for, then dot dot, and I put the lettering softly on there, like the THIS, then IS, and then I go back and then I push the marker on my downstrokes to make them thick and dark. And that really helped, especially using a bullet tip. So at first I'm just putting my light lines, and then I will go back with the bullet tip and I will press down on the strokes that my downstrokes, and I'll keep my upstrokes in the light. Instead of getting thin, you're not going to get really thin lines, but if you make them light, it'll give the illusion that it is a thick and a thin line, when in actuality it's a dark and a light line, if that makes any sense. So now I have, this is for, and I'm writing Debbie, and I'm putting my lines in, and because it's a bullet tip, I have to go back and I have to color it in. You can see on the E here that it comes out quite dark, and you have to make the illusion of your downstroke being heavy. So you just keep applying the ink with, doesn't matter whether you have a heavy hand on it, it matters that you just keep going over the stroke, and then you will get that. And it's Debbie Tester is her name. And then I will take my thinner pen and I'll go back and make some flourishes after. I just want to get Debbie's name in there, and she is from South Carolina. Can you believe this? What did I put? North Carolina. So I didn't find this out until after the tutorial was done. So I'm just adding a little bit of my own style of capital letters, just some fancy little letters here. And then I'm going to add my thicker downstroke letters. I will fill them in. I will make them and then fill them in. And then I'm going to add something I'll show you in just a little bit. I have a black sheet of cardstock that I'm practicing on right here. I'm going to use the pink. I didn't know whether I wanted to use the pink and make the white look like a ghost effect. So I'm practicing on the word hello. And I'm just going to write hello on here, and then I'm going to ghost it out with the white Jane Davenport pen. Once I get there, my camera is finding it hard to focus, but I put the word hello. Then I go back and I make my thick strokes on the down, and the thin strokes I just leave them light. And then I'll take the white and I'll go over it again on the outside edges that are thin so that I don't make the downstrokes too thick. I'm just practicing, and I'm thinking I'm going to put that on the North Carolina. But once I saw how much ink it takes up here, I decided, yep, I'm going with the dots. So I take my fuchsia pink, and if you do a light pressure and you go on all of your thick strokes and put the dots, it looks crazy sweet because we added all those dots all the way around the envelope cover, and the dots on the north, oh, I tell you, looked so cute. The thing I want to stress for you here is to make sure you have your heat tool, and that before you add another color, like with the Jane Davenport uh, pens, because they're creamy, it's almost like putting down a chalk. They're very creamy, and you want to make sure it's dry before you add another um, color on top. And you need to keep your little fingers away from it, because if it's not dry, it will smudge. Of course, it's pigment ink. But I did take all of this. I kept taking my heat tool, making sure that it was dry before I went on. And this is my Sakura pen, and I'm filling in the lines that I made, the thick lines, the downstrokes. I'm making them thicker, and then I go in with my fuchsia pink. I add my polka dots and my little wee heart over top of Carolina, and I think it looks so cute over top of that flower. Back to the heat tool, you do want to be sure that it is nice and dry. And on this black cardstock, my friends, vivid, vivid. The reason why we want it dry here is because of the technique at the end we're going to use. I'm just checking it out there, and you can test it like I'm pouncing on it, as you can see. You don't want to slide. You want to just pounce and see if it is there. Hi! Yes, so now I'm going back, adding a few more flourishes where I think needs be. And I saw up at the top left that there was a butterfly that needed to be colored in totally hot pink. And so I did that, and then I decided to make a few more pink dots all over. So much fun this envelope was. I can't tell you enough. As soon as I thought I had enough little dots of the blue, the white, and the fuchsia, I just went around there, and I realized that Debbie was not from North Carolina. She was born in North Carolina, but she moved to South Carolina. So at the end of the video, I found this out, and I decided that I'm not going to put her address in there, obviously, because I was going to mail this. Right up until the end, I didn't know that it was supposed to say South. So I left that space right there, and I'll show you what I did with it at the end. And now I'm going to add my 2.5-inch Suquang tape that I just ran out of the roll. Oh yes, that was a huge roll, and I can't believe I've used it all up on here. But you want to make sure on your envelope you have a really good double-sided tape, because it is going through the mail. This will go through the mail, but in the envelope inside another envelope, because maybe I'll show you that. I'll do the bigger envelope. I'm going to send it, but it works out well this way because I couldn't put her address on YouTube, right? So this worked out well. Get your paper towel, put it on top so that you can smooth out the double-sided tape, make it nice and flat, and then we're going to move on for protection. I'm sure you've seen this on Christina Werner's videos lately, and I have been using it for a couple of years on my projects, and that's Burt's Bees. Is the exact same thing. It's a hand cream as Distress Glaze, except for it's half the price. You get double the amount of product for half the price. But you know, you need somebody to tell you that there is a product called Burt's Bees, and it's hand cream, beautiful hand cream. If and you want to put it on your project, and you want to make sure that this is nice and dry. You don't want to take it and move all the color around. But I made sure that heat tool got on there. And then I'm going to show you the difference between the Burt's Bees hand cream, other than a little bit more in the yellow hue, like kind of like the golden hue, to clear. It goes on, look at that, identical. You wouldn't know one from the other. And then when you put the heat tool to it or you leave it to dry, water will repel off of it. You aren't going to have a problem whatsoever sending this in the mail. You just can't believe it. It doesn't look shiny, like really shiny. It does have a little glow to it, but it is beautiful and it will stay in the mail. Usually I use packing tape, and I put that clear packing tape over top of my envelopes like this, but then you end up with that line. And then I thought, you know what? I do this on my canvases, and I protect them with the Burt's Bees or the glaze that Tim Holtz has come out with. And if you want to find something affordable and you want to get double the amount, look at Walmart for Burt's Bees hand cream, and you will be wonderfully surprised. Now see the difference between all the way around there. And I left under Debbie's name, I left it free because I thought I was going to put her address there, and I wasn't going to do it on this tutorial, right? And then you just take a little bit of your paper towel, go over it lightly, blow it dry, and you have this gorgeous sheen over top. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, my friends. I left you with some pictures, and isn't it gorgeous? I finished it up with the Burt's Bees wax, and you have yourself a blessed week. Thank you for your comments, and thank you for subscribing. I do appreciate it. Enjoy the pictures, everybody.